I'm going to try and talk, I guess, about a couple things. One, the ATU convention and the perspective for dealing with this current crisis that is presented by Larry Hanley, the international president of the Amalgamated Transit Union. A lot of this information is available online, and you can contact me later and I can give you more details on how to get that information. And what they say can be done about dealing with this situation and what really needs to be done. At least I'm just going to touch on it. So I'll probably use 2 minutes up and give it an introduction. So at the ATU convention, one of the important things that was done there for the challenges that it offers us was the creation of what are called joint service councils. What these joint service councils are supposed to do is to give professional assistance to ATU locals to deal with these fights, these contract struggles, and these bigger social issues that they touch on together. We're supposed to give us lawyers, publicity help, organizing help. But they don't necessarily, in the question, the challenge that I saw for people in the Amalgamated Transit Union is that it doesn't necessarily outline how or they can directly affect the people that are doing these works, how they can directly affect the officers that are doing this work, and how they can directly propose things that they want to do. How they can organize themselves, because that's ultimately what they got to do. They got to motivate to have the motivation to do this work. They got to organize themselves. It doesn't give a clear picture of that. And it also brings up the question of what to do about the politicians that we deal with. As public employees, we deal with politicians. When I was a steward, on a daily basis, I always thought, I'm filing this grievance for a member, I'm dealing with this discipline discussion, and I'm fighting the Democratic Party. You know, and that's who if you look at BART, that BART board, that elected BART board, that publicly elected BART board that you can vote for is dominated by the Democratic Party. And they are the ones that made the decision to use taxpayer money to bring in Thomas Hawk from Veolia Corporation. And they're the ones that cooperate with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission with a plan to consolidate all of public transportation in one umbrella, handing it over to privatization to Veolia Corporation. The Democratic Party did that. So we are dealing with politicians. All public employees deal with the same problem. How much time do I have left?
4 minutes.
4 minutes? Okay. So we're in a fight against the Democratic Party, and we need to organize in that. The Joint Service Council specifically in one part says that politicians who attacked our pensions, and in the state of California, that would be Jerry Brown, certainly a leader of the Democratic Party. Jerry Brown attacked our pensions, and he attacked the pensions of newer employees. And if those politicians attack our pensions but don't address our own, we got to recall them from office. Now that sounds like a call for me for a recall campaign against Jerry Brown. And then also was an opportunity to do things for the unions and the members to take direct action in the elections and not solely in the elections, I'm not talking about limited to elections, but to address that question in the electoral process. And they have to do so by direct actions in the streets, by mobilizations to boards, by mobilizations to public meetings, by strikes, by strikes with the Longshoremen's Union, which we were organizing on August 4th. We were in the Port of Oakland, laying out where we were going to go and shut down that Shipping Services America terminal, where the longshoremen have a lot of problems. And we were going to put up picket lines in front of that terminal where there was a BART ventilation structure in the building. So we were going to put up a sanctioned picket line. Okay, there's real stuff. There's Teamsters that are involved in real stuff and contracts with Veolia, whose contracts are open. There's lots of public employees, like Hayward City workers, like the Oakland City workers were, like there's a whole bunch. Veolia has a lot of contracts that are open. Teamsters that are paratransit workers, AC and AC Transit and BART, and we need to put those people together in direct action on the street. That takes talking and discussion and one-on-one, discussions to get together. We need to know each other to feel like we, we can work together. Now, the union leadership has a tendency not to want to do that, and we have to fight that. And if you look at and I've got copies of this for you, if you look at the Constitution of the Amalgamated Transit Union, it tells you that you have the right to do that. This Constitution was written in the period when the unions were being built, when people knew that they had to talk with each other. We had to be able to go to each other's meetings to find out what's going on and what people think. And so they wrote it into our ATU Constitution that we have a right to do that. And we need to do that now, between 192 and 1555. We need to talk to SEIU. And we have the right to do that by the Constitution of ATU, by the Constitution and Bill of Rights by the United States. And we have, more importantly, we have rights as human beings to talk to our co-workers, to organize and struggle and fight together so that we have a decent life. That's what this contract's all about.